We all watched that opener against the Chargers and felt the sting. It wasn't just the scoreboard, it was the moment when one of our most electric new weapons left the field. Xavier Worthy's night ended early after a collision that resulted in a dislocated shoulder, and you could see the concern on everyone's faces because the team had just lost 27-21 in Week 1. That combination, a close loss and then a scary-looking injury to a young guy who's supposed to help juice this offense, hits different for Chiefs fans because we expect playmakers to be available when it matters. Let me walk you through exactly what went down on the play and why it felt so significant in the moment. Worthy finished with only one carry before leaving the game, and the injury came after a collision with a defender that left his shoulder clearly bothering him. You don't have to be a doctor to see the immediate concern. When a receiver that thrives on speed and separation suffers a shoulder injury, the risks aren't just the next game, they're about how comfortable he'll be catching and absorbing contact for weeks after. The immediate post-game buzz was mixed, relief that it didn't look surgically catastrophic on first glance, and worrying that any dislocation can linger without the right plan. Now, I know you've already read the headlines, but it's worth reiterating the timeline. This happened in the season opener. The team flew back after the Brazil game, and the broader reporting quickly focused not only on the injury itself, but on how the Chiefs would approach treatment. That's why Andy Reid's comments, which we'll dig into next, mattered so much to everyone watching. For now, as we digest the footage and the stats, the important thing to own as a fan is this: the team lost a close game and then had to deal with a potentially season-affecting injury to a young weapon. And that's the kind of two-punch that can rattle you, but it also reveals how the organization responds under pressure. Before I move on, I want to hear from you quickly. Drop a comment with a single number. On a scale from 1 to 10, how worried were you when Worthy left the field? Type that number now. Also, quick yes, no. Do you think Worthy's injury changed the outcome against the Chargers? Yes or no? Cast your vote in the comments. And if you're new here, hit subscribe and help us reach our goal of 5,000 subscribers. It makes a big difference for a channel like ours and helps get more Chiefs content to fans like you. After seeing Worthy leave the field, the big question on everyone's mind was always, what's next? That's where Andy Reid stepped in and gave fans a bit of a sigh of relief. He called Xavier Worthy day-to-day, and right away, that phrasing matters because it tells us the team isn't rushing to surgery or a worst-case scenario, at least not immediately. Now, if you've ever heard a coach say day-to-day, you know it's a term that gives hope without guaranteeing anything. It means the team will monitor, treat, and reassess on a daily basis. It's a cautious optimism that fans desperately needed after Week 1. The reporting also highlighted that the Chiefs are taking a smart approach. Ian Rapoport noted that the team might seek a second opinion to make sure whatever path they choose is the safest and most effective for Worthy. That means they're weighing options between non-surgical rehab, possible bracing, and only pursuing surgery if it becomes unavoidable. From a fan's perspective, it's reassuring to see that the team isn't rushing decisions. They're protecting a young player who has the potential to be a major piece for Patrick Mahomes' offense. And let's be real, when you see a young speedster like Worthy hit the field, every fan wants him healthy, running routes, and making plays. But what does day-to-day actually mean for the roster and practice planning? Essentially, it means Worthy could participate in limited practice reps or be fully off the field while the medical staff works on strengthening and stability. Coaches have to balance protecting him with keeping the offense moving, so we might see other receivers pick up the load temporarily while Worthy rehabs. This kind of cautious optimism can influence weekly game planning, snap distribution, and Mahomes' chemistry with the rest of the receiving corps. It's a domino effect, but one that hopefully keeps the young receiver in the mix without risking further injury. Here's where you come in, fans. Do you trust the Chiefs to manage Worthy this way, with a brace and rehab rather than surgery? Vote yes or no in the comments. And while you're typing, tell me one reason why you'd prefer the non-surgical route or the surgical route. This kind of conversation helps us all get a sense of what the fan base is thinking, and I love reading your takes. Also, don't forget to hit that like button if you appreciate these injury breakdowns and want more content like this. Every like pushes us closer to our 5,000 subscriber goal and helps the channel grow, which in turn keeps you in the loop with everything Chiefs related. When you take a piece like Xavier Worthy out of the lineup, even temporarily, it changes the chemistry of the offense. He's a rookie, yes, but he's also one of those players who brings something unique to the field, pure speed. That vertical threat and ability to stretch defenses is something defensive coordinators have to respect, and when you lose that, the ripple effect is immediate. Without Worthy, defenses can adjust coverages differently. They can play tighter against Rashee Rice or focus more attention on Marquise Hollywood Brown, knowing there isn't that same lightning-fast weapon on the other side. So how does Andy Reid adjust? Well, the good news is that the Chiefs aren't short on talent, they're just adjusting the balance. Rashee Rice showed flashes last season of being a reliable chain mover and someone Mams clearly trusts on. Quick and intermediate routes, you can expect his target share to go up, especially in high-leverage situations like third downs. Hollywood Brown, meanwhile, might get more deep looks, even though he doesn't quite have Worthy's pure burst. His chemistry with Mams is still building, but this is the kind of situation where a veteran can take advantage of opportunity and solidify his role. Then there are the other guys. Sky Moore, who's been waiting for that true breakout moment, might see his role expand. He's not going to replace Worthy's exact skill set, but he can line up in the slot, run option routes, and give Mams another quick release option. Kadarius Toney, if healthy, is always the wild card, used on gadget plays, jet sweeps, or screens that could mimic some of the quick hitting touches Worthy might have gotten. It's about reshuffling the playbook, not reinventing it. Reid's offense thrives on creativity, so this is just another puzzle for him to solve. Another point we can't overlook is how the running backs get involved. When you lose a receiver like Worthy, it's not uncommon for Reid to lean more on guys like Isaiah Pacheco in the passing game. Swing passes, screens, and angle routes can take the place of those quick touches to a speed receiver. Jerick McKinnon, if healthy and active, is another player who can fill in those gaps, providing reliability and explosiveness in space. The bigger picture here is about Mams. This is why you pay a quarterback like him. When weapons go down, Mams has shown time and again that he elevates whoever steps onto the field. Think about it, he's made role players look like stars in big moments, and now it's another test of his adaptability. Still, having Worthy out there takes the offense from good to great, so every week he's sidelined puts more pressure on the rest of the room to deliver. Now, I want your take on this. Who do you think should step up the most with Worthy out? Is it Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, or maybe Sky Moore? Drop your answer in the comments. Let's make it a poll. And if you're enjoying the breakdown, make sure you smash that like button. It helps more Chiefs fans find this channel and keeps us pushing toward that 5,000 subscriber goal. So now that we've looked at the injury itself and how the Chiefs can adapt in the meantime, it's time to answer the big question every fan has. How long will Xavier Worthy be out? And what are the realistic scenarios here? The best case outlook, based on what Andy Reid and the reporting have told us, is that Worthy rehabs the shoulder with bracing, avoids surgery, and can return to game action in the near future. In this scenario, he might miss little to no time, depending on how he responds to treatment and how stable the shoulder feels during practice reps. It's not a lock, but it's the kind of day-to-day outcome that fans are hoping for. On the flip side, the worst-case scenario is a surgical option. If the second opinion or further evaluation shows that the shoulder isn't stable enough to play through, then the Chiefs may decide that surgery is the only way to protect him long-term. That, of course, would mean an extended absence, possibly even putting much of his rookie season in jeopardy. Nobody wants to hear that, but it's the reality of football. Injuries are unpredictable, And sometimes the safer call costs you games now but protects your player's future. Somewhere in between is the middle ground. Worthy could miss a few games while strengthening and rehabbing, then work his way back slowly, maybe even on a snap count at first. That would give the Chiefs some time to adjust their offense, let other receivers find rhythm, and then reintroduce Worthy as a spark once he's ready. For fans, this is probably the scenario you should expect. Not panic, but patience. The truth is, Worthy's timeline is going to be decided week to week, and that's what makes Reid's day-to-day description so important. It tells us the team is going to monitor him closely, and that means every practice report and injury update becomes must-watch for fans. As a Chiefs fan, this is where you settle in, trust the medical staff, and understand that even if he misses time now, the long-term priority is keeping him available for the stretch run of the season. Now let me throw it back to you. What's your prediction? Do you think Worthy comes back quickly with a brace, or do you think this ends up being a longer recovery with surgery on the table? Drop your timeline guess in the comments below. And here's one more yes or no question for you. Do you think the Chiefs make the playoffs this year even with this early injury setback? Comment yes or no, and let's see where the fan base really stands on this. Before we close out, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're building toward that 5,000 subscriber goal, and with your help, we can get there faster. Hit that like button, share this video with a friend, and keep coming back for more updates. That way, you'll always be the first to know how the Chiefs are handling injuries, roster moves, and everything in between.